Hello and welcome back to In the Upper Room. I'm Nancy Lopez, standing in for Shauna and Mike. Thank you very much for the opportunity to get information to improve the quality of life for you. Our next guest is not a stranger to this programming. She was a unelected politician for years and recently has been elected as the first Hispanic female councilwoman at large in the city of Wilmington. And Maria de Los Angeles Cabrerra is very diverse. Although she has worked with the Latino community for years, she has worked with the Asian community, African American community, and the mainstream community, and she's very, very well-rounded as far as finding the resource that someone needs for their lives to improve their quality of life. So that's like the connection and how I fell in love with Maria Cabrera because she's an awesome lady. I've known her for years. She has taught me a lot of wonderful things about helping people, but also things about me and you know, looking inside me and what can I do to be a better person to glorify God, which is the key, I think, to our existence and why we get up every morning to help others. Maria, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for, again, to Mike and to Shauna for the opportunity. I was just thinking that I don't think I have been on since the general election. No one's invited me to come back. You guys invited me. Thank you. There is a lot going on in our community. Nancy, thank you for your kind words, your very generous words. I think it's important that we inspire each other, that we have role models in the community. And it's not necessarily that somebody has to be much older than us. Sometimes somebody can be much younger than us. And not to say that I'm much younger than Nancy, but that we can inspire each other. We can be role models for each other. So I thank Nancy for her kind words and saying that I've been an inspiration to her. And hopefully to a lot of young women who are aspiring to do things in their community and to realize that this is, I want to call this like the year of the woman, because we have so many great things going on. So many women have been put in leadership roles. I have to commend Dennis Williams, our mayor. I got to get used to calling him Mayor Dennis Williams, for the women that he has put in leadership positions with his administration. There is a lot of women directing these departments, so I'm very happy. And of course, the most significant is having the first female police chief. So very happy about that. And then another very good and dear friend of ours has been nominated, and the nomination has been accepted by the legislature, and that is Vivian Rapacelli, formerly Vivian Medinilla Longo, from Guatemala, and she is our first Hispanic Supreme Court judge. Mm-hmm. So I think that we as women and also as Hispanics, we're finally taking some ground moving forward. We have our first Hispanic inspector in the police department, Victor Ayala, so I want to congratulate him as well. So we are in a place right now where we're moving forward, and we get to be role models for others who sometimes think that they can't do it and they can't make it, but yes, you can. And I think that that's one of the things that happened with the election of President Obama, that finally, you know, children, I've never seen so many kids involved in politics or rally around a president, and young people ever. I look back, was it Clinton, Reagan, Kennedy? Yes, Kennedy was someone that inspired our community, but I've never, the way my son speaks of him and his friends, I just never remember as a child being inspired by a president the way that this president has inspired so many young people. So that's what we want to keep it going, because they are the next generation. We have to do right by them. We have to fix the problems that we have created. We have to fix it if it's broke. That's the example that we have to set, especially with our economy. We can't let them inherit all these problems. And we do have a lot of issues and obstacles, but I'm very optimistic that working together, we're going to make it in the city of Wilmington and in our state.
So tell me, Maria, how has it been for you? Because you started you started the ground running.
Yeah.
You initially started in November.
Yep.
Explain to our audience about that.
Well, because that seat became vacant after the election, because we now have Buddy Friel, who was at large candidate, went on to become the councilman in the 8th district. So that opened up the at-large seat in November. So 1 week after the election, at our first council meeting, myself and Councilman Nnamdi Chukwuocha in the 1st District were appointed to come into our seats, the first seat being left vacant as our state representative, Charles Potter, moved into his post. So we were sworn in, and we were first appointed by the council, then sworn in, so I started serving on November 15th. So needless to say, I had a little bit of seniority before the other new members came in January, but we are now currently working under the new council, the 106th sitting council in the city of Wilmington. I'm so proud and honored to be with the new group, and as well as to have served with the former council people that have now moved on to do other things. Great group of people. I'm very optimistic under the leadership of our president, Theo Gregory, that we're going to do some great things. We have very dynamic people on council, very passionate about their causes. People like Bob Williams, Sherry Dorsey that have come on board, Darius Brown, who's really been out there moving and shaking and doing things, and brother Chukwuocha, you wait and see, because Nomi's going to be exploding as well. So I'm very excited about the new leadership and working with the new mayor and the direction that we are going to take our city in.
Now, we have a lot of challenges ahead of us in the city of Wilmington. One thing that impressed me about your platform is constituent participation, because I'm a big supporter that the government has a big role in serving their constituents, but also the constituents have a role in this. There's a lot of, I don't want to get involved, or I'm scared to leave my neighborhood, so I'm not getting involved, I'm not calling, I'm not, so how are you going to bring the two together?
Well, this is an issue, and most recently you may have heard about the new initiative about the shared vision that the police department has launched out in terms of having these cameras and using these cameras to be able to identify in certain neighborhoods some of what, who's committing the crime, which kind of takes the neighbors off the hook, because the biggest fear is the retaliation that if, they're under, the people who are committing the crimes feel that they're being snitched, that, they're come after these people. And a lot of that has happened, as we saw over the summer. So with these cameras, a lot of crimes have been solved. We've seen this in Philadelphia and other areas, and the businesses that have cameras outside. But the police department is launching initiatives under the new chief and our mayor that people have a call-in line where it's anonymous, that a lot of folks just don't want to be associated with calling in and identified. So we don't want you to live in fear, because what has happened is we've allowed the criminals to come into our community and take over, and it seems like they now have the power, and they took the power from us. So I do believe that we are held accountable for our own neighborhoods, and that we have to take that power back. And you have to trust your leadership in government, because you have great leadership now, and we were going to move forward, the people that are here in place. And you have to work with the police, because there's no way that we can help you, and we as leaders can't help you if you don't come to the table and at least ask. But there are putting things in place where they don't have to get as involved for that fear, but that we will keep your names anonymous, that you shouldn't have to live in fear, because I'm starting to feel a little bit apprehensive about the city and the fear, and it just seems like, is it getting any better? But just give us time, give us a little bit of time. As Mayor Williams said, give me 7 months to start turning things around. You can't expect us to come in and wave a magic wand and make it all go away and everything's going to be perfect. But let us work with the tools that we're asking for. As the mayor asked for extra staff people to do the things he needs to do. Give us an opportunity, all of us that were just elected, to come in here and do the work that needs to be done.